Okay, we're going to start with section 1.5, solving inequalities. Now, an inequality is very similar to just a regular equation, but we have signs like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, instead of our normal equal sign. We solve the equation just the same. Here's our first example. 7x minus 5 is greater than 6x plus 4. This is just a normal inequality where we want to get all the letters on one side and the numbers on the other. So first I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, leaving 1x, but everything else stays the same. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and we have x is greater than 9. That's my final answer. Now when I graph my solution, x is greater than 9, I draw a number line. I always mark 0 and my solution. Now the way we graph on number lines depends on the sign we have in between the variables and the numbers. In these two cases, we draw an open circle because it's actually not equal to that number. And in these two cases, we actually draw a closed circle. So in this case, we have x is greater than 9. We're going to draw an open circle at 9. And since we want everything greater than, we're going to draw our arrow to the right. And we're finished. Now the next problem is going to introduce a rule. I'm going to write that rule right here. If we ever multiply or divide by a negative number in an inequality, we have to flip the sign. And you'll see an example of that in a minute. So let's say we had negative 0.25y is greater than or equal to 2. Our goal is just the same here, getting y all by itself. So we have to divide since it's being multiplied. And we are actually dividing by a negative, so we have to apply our rule. This inequality sign is going to flip from a greater than or equal to a less than or equal to. And we do the problem just the same. 2 divided by negative 0.25 is negative 8. And that is our final answer. When we graph it, we do the same, marking our 0 and our solution. And since we have a less than or equal to sign, we're going to use a closed circle. And we want everything that's less than, so we draw our arrow to the left. We'll do one more example where we have multiple steps. Say we had negative m is less than or equal to m plus 4 divided by 9. Our goal is the same here, getting all of the letters on the left side and the numbers on the right. But the first thing I have to do is get rid of that 9 by multiplying both sides by 9. My sign is going to stay the same because I didn't multiply by a negative number. Then I'm going to work to get my letters on this side, keeping everything the same. Now I have to divide by negative 10, switching my inequality sign to a greater than or equal to from a less than or equal to, And I can reduce that fraction to negative 2 over 5. Since I divided by a negative, I flipped my inequality sign. And that is my final answer. If I were to graph this, do it the same way. I know that negative 2/5 is in between 0 and negative 1, about right there. I draw a closed circle, and since we want everything that's greater than, I'm going to draw my arrow to the right. And that is it for section 1.5, solving inequalities.